ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be doing a TNA Impact review episode from March 15th, 2016. Um, Went ahead, took the opportunity, didn't have much to do today, and cleaned around the house, all that good stuff, and stuff like that. And I just was kicking back and saying to myself, alright, I'm kind of bored. So, what did I do? I went ahead and I took a look at TNA. Saw their card before actually seeing the results, and it looked like a good card. So I thought, why not take the chance in seeing how the show went down? So I went ahead, I looked it up online, found the episode, and I took a look. And I have to say, I was actually impressed. I wasn't, you're not gonna say this episode was the greatest, or was super awesome, or it was a 5-star event. But I have to admit one thing. This episode was actually way fucking better than WWE Monday Night Raw, which is pretty pathetic to say, because WWE is a way better company, and financially and talent-wise. And I sincerely admit that. I believe that WWE has far superior talent than TNA, but this show actually wasn't all that bad. And I'll explain why in further detail as we go through this list of matches. So we go ahead, first thing we get is a video package giving us a highlight of what was going on between Eric Young and Jeff Hardy. And just for the record, guys, I don't exactly know what's been happening before this episode actually happened. I didn't know that Eric Young has been the TNA King of the Mountain champion for a while, and I haven't known that Jeff Hardy has had some run-ins with him and actually got injured by him. So yeah, the video package gives you a rundown, basically showing that Jeff Hardy and Eric Young have been getting in some confrontations with each other. Eric Young actually injured Jeff Hardy with a pile driver and put him out of action for a few weeks. And then Jeff Hardy came back and pretty much has issued a challenge to Eric Young. Dixie Carter granted that match, and then Eric Young, starting off the show, was pissed off at Dixie Carter, and he actually sounded very genuine. He didn't sound so scripted, he didn't sound so bland. He played a really good, angry, psychotic Looney Tune, which is what Eric Young has been doing since the last time I watched TNA, and I thought he was pretty stupid, but he's actually changed it up a bit. He sounds a little better. He doesn't sound so scripted. He sounds, personality-wise, I think he's changed a bit on his character, and he seems pretty interesting to watch. So because of that, Dixie Carter says, okay, you want to blame me and yada yada yada, I'll make it better for you. You beat Jeff Hardy, you go on to the main event match and turn it into a triple threat match for the TNA World Championship. Originally, the TNA World title was just supposed to be a singles match between Matt Hardy and EC3, Ethan Carter III. Who actually has now turned face and Matt Hardy turned heel in the same process when Matt Hardy actually won the TNA World title, which I'll explain in a little bit further detail how that went down the last time I actually even paid attention to the product, but when I get to the main event I'll explain a little bit more in detail. So yeah, Jeff Hardy and Eric Young, I have to say this match was pretty damn good. It was back and forth action all over the place. And Jeff Hardy walked away victorious with a Swanton Bomb and won the match. I think that was a very smart move on their part, specifically because Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy have not resolved their issues since Matt Hardy turned as a heel. So, kind of a surprising situation there, but, I was kind of happy by the result. Thought that was a good move on their part. Granted, they need to start building some younger stars on this program. They have a lot of guys on here that are just retro guys that were once famous in WWE or famous in another company elsewhere. But they really need to build on some talent. That's where they really have their severe problem here. But the match itself was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I definitely give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. The energy in the company is kind of stale. I think that's where the major problem with TNA is right now, and has been for a very long time. So that's pretty much it. We also had a promo between Matt Hardy and Jeff. Matt Hardy playing the typical heel. He goes ahead and he says, "Okay, bro, you won the match. Congratulations to you. I want to give you a one-on-one match. I don't want you to have to be in a triple threat match. Let me face EC3, and we'll face each other in the future for the World Heavyweight title. Maybe in Bound for Glory 2017 or 2018. He was sugaring them up, getting them ready, and it seemed like a good offer until he said we'd face each other at Bound for Glory 2017 or 2018. That right there, I mean, Jeff Hardy, of course, obviously rejects the offer and says, "The hell with that. We're going in that triple threat match for the world title later on tonight." So that's basically it on that. Maria and Mike Bennett versus Drew Gallo and Gail Kim. Gail Kim, actually, just to give you a little info on this, if you guys don't pay much attention to the TNA product, is a 5-time Knockouts champion in their company. So, again, they need to work on younger talent. They need to build and get newer talent in this company. WWE's in that same situation, but they still have some young mid-card talent that can turn into main event level status. TNA ain't in that same level. They are definitely have a lot of guys that are not built up right to be main eventers, but they definitely have some decent talent. They're not horrible, but they're not as good as WWE's talent. WWE's talent blows them out of the water. And really fucking kill them talent-wise. Storyline-wise, I think TNA might have a small edge against WWE in this situation, but granted, with the years that have gone by, they have dropped significantly down the line and have lost a lot of money because of horrible TNA programming, horrible storylines, and dialogue between characters has been horrendous. I really could not stand it. But watching this episode, I noticed there was a lot of change in the dialogue. I thought it seemed a lot more natural and things of that sort. Eddie Richards, he went ahead and he was in backstage talking about his partner from the Wolves, and he got beaten up by Decay, which is run by Abyss, and he's got 2 other people named Crazy Steve and Rosemary. These 2 characters are pretty fucking creepy guys. I'm not saying Rosemary's a guy, but she's actually pretty fucking nuts. In a sense, they're kind of like the Wyatts, only in a darker aspect. I mean, a little bit more like a horror type characters. They're more darker. They're darker than sorry about the bad grammar there. They're darker than the Wyatts are. I mean, the Wyatts they can look dark and act creepy, but these guys are like downright like zombie type creepy. The way they are dressed up, the way they look, everything. It's very, very cool gimmick they got going with those 2 guys. I remember Crazy Steve a while back when he first started. He was just a clown with Mike Knox, and it was just a ridiculous thing they were doing with him. And now they turned him into like a zombie type evil character, which I think is fucking cool as shit. I really do like the faction. I think it's a good faction that they got going on. So, yeah, I was pretty satisfied with that. The acting, though, backstage with Eddie Richards, or whatever his name is, from the Wolves, he he didn't sell that attack very well. It came across seems so fake and phony and retarded, but that faction decay seemed very cool. The way they attacked him, how creepy they were acting, they kind of like convulsing in a way because they were so happy about beating him up and everything. Pretty creepy shit, but pretty good nonetheless. And from there we had Maria and Mike Bennett, who actually came from ROH. They were actually a pretty good group in ROH. They did a pretty decent job there. Mike Bennett didn't really get anywhere in the company. He didn't really win any major titles, I don't believe. I do believe he did win a New Japan tag team titles. I believe it was the... not the regular World Tag Team titles, but the Junior Tag Team titles in IWGP. Or New Japan Wrestling, I should say, with Maria being his manager with another partner that he was with. And they faced Drew Gallo and Gail Kim. In this match was okay at best. Kind of slow. Drew Galloway didn't do too bad. His in-ring action is pretty good. He's definitely gotten a lot better since WWE days. So I did enjoy watching this match. It wasn't that horrible, but it wasn't that great either. I give it a 2.5 out of 5 stars, maybe a 3 just to be nice. But it was just missing something, and Mike Bennett and Maria walked away victorious. Maria actually grabbed the tights of Gail Kim and got the 1, 2, 3. Not too bad, but still it was kind of a geeky match, I think. Next match we had was Decay with Abyss, Crazy Steve, Rosemary facing Beer Money, which they actually got them back together. They won the tag team titles. I believe they won them the week before this episode and beat the Wolves with Eddie Edwards, actually. I'm saying Eddie Richards. Never mind. Sorry, guys. Eddie Edwards. And they lost to the group called Decay in a pretty, typical heel fashion. A little bit of cheating, low blow occurred, and Crazy Steve got the victory over Eddie Edwards. Didn't quite like the ending. I thought the match itself was okay. Give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Definitely, the action was decent. It's just the ending was just sudden, and the loss was through a low blow, and I thought that was kind of weak. They could have done something a little bit better than that. But overall, the match wasn't that bad. It just wasn't that great because of the ending. Now, we had a little bit of an insight of Eli Drake, which is a guy I'm not too familiar with this guy Grado. Grado, whatever the fuck his name is. He sounds like an Irishman, like Finley, sort of. And this was just kind of idiotic. It was kind of cool, what they did. They give you a rundown of what happened. Eli Drake went ahead and won a briefcase from Feast or Fired, and there was belief that Grado, he won the same thing, and then found out that there was a possibility that those briefcases were changed. Eli Drake really had the Fired briefcase, and Grado had the TNA King of the Mountain Championship briefcase, but you later find out when it was revealed that that wasn't the case, but it was actually supposed to be the TNA King of the Mountain Championship should have been Grado's, not Eli Drake, basically saying that Eli Drake switched the briefcase backstage without nobody looking. So, whatever. Didn't really make much sense to me. Supposedly, I guess Eli Drake saw the briefcase before it was presented and switched the briefcase up between him and Grado, and that was pretty much it. Grado went on a tangent about it and tried to find out what the issue was. Sorry about that, guys. what the issue was and what was going on, and he was trying to make proof, trying to get proof about the situation so that he could get his job back. Well, basically, Eli Drake went ahead and this attorney, I don't know what the hell this one bald-headed dude was, and issued a match. It'd be a ladder match for the contract. Grado won, he keeps his job. Grado lost, he loses his job, and that's pretty much it. Match wasn't all that great. Wasn't entertained by it. This match, pretty much, Eli Drake isn't a bad wrestler, I don't think. I think this guy Grado, though, is absolute garbage. I don't know what the fuck he's doing on this company, or even has a main roster slot anyway. I think he should be in like the independent circuits in some nowhere place, because he absolutely sucks. The match ended, Grado won, beating Eli Drake altogether, so not a big deal there. I give it like a 1. Match was fucking garbage. So I really could have cared less if this match was on the card. Then we had the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Okay, explaining what happened with Matt Hardy. Why is he a heel? Well, here's the explanation. Matt Hardy faced EC3, Ethan Carter III, in a last man standing match a while back, months ago, when he won the championship on TNA programming. In that event, Matt Hardy turned heel. Why did he turn heel? Simple. His wife convinced him it was time to turn over a new leaf, start caring more about yourself, start caring about winning the major championships all the time, being in the main spotlight in the main event, and getting what you want any means possible. Very, very interesting thing. Plus, also, they had Cyrus, his bodyguard, who was known as Brodus Clay on WWE programming, to turn on him as well, who was originally his bodyguard on EC3. I thought that was pretty interesting as well. So pretty much anyone that had an association with EC3 at the time turned their back on his ass immediately. And it makes a lot of sense. He was selfish, he was greedy, and he was an egotistical asshole who didn't want to give anybody who helped him a shot at his title and give them any props for what they did. So they turned on him. Basically a Seth Rollins type of gimmick, in my opinion. EC3 is now turned into this humble, pretty much a face type character. He's no longer a cheater, doesn't find ways to, cheat to win. He just tries to win a match. And from what I've heard, he still is yet to be defeated, meaning being by pinfall or submission. He's yet to submit or be pinned officially. So that's pretty surprising as well, knowing that he is not the TNA World Heavyweight Champion anymore. So that's kind of freaking weird in my opinion. But with all that being said, Jeff Hardy now can't quite understand the reasoning behind the change outside of his wife talking in his ear and convincing him to, change his whole act and his whole attitude. The change at the time with them turning him face to heel was kind of weird to me at first, but once I finally heard the promo the next week afterwards, I kind of skimmed through every once in a while and checked a few things out just to educate myself a little bit on the program, seeing what was going on, anything, really important. And that's one of the things I found, which was actually a good thing to watch because it gave an explanation to what was going on here, why he was turning heel and so forth. So it was a good thing to watch, and it definitely was intriguing to me. I found that, whoa, that was pretty cool. Them to go on that kind of end, do a double turn in one match at one event, that's pretty freaking awesome, and the way they did it was outstanding. So you gain sympathy towards EC3, you get Matt Hardy finally getting pissed off and finally saying, fuck this shit, tired of being Mr. Goody Two-Shoes, I'm going to take what I want instead of earning it. And to hell with all this crap, all I keep doing is sacrificing my body, my time, for people and for companies that don't do me a jack of shit, so I'm just going to worry about one thing and one thing only, myself and my wife. sounds like a good deal to me. Sounds like a perfect heel to me, and a good reason to turn him heel. I mean, it was a neat way of turning him heel. So I did appreciate their reasoning behind it turning him a heel. Now the match itself. The match itself was kind of an awkward ending. One, it did not end in... it didn't have an ending. There was a no contest. Basically, I guess you could say that EC3 was injured. Jeff Hardy did get injured in this match. He got a pile driver again by Eric Young and Bram. By the way, Bram is actually a UK wrestling star with the goatee. Kind of looks like Bray Wyatt, I guess you could say, only more fit than Bray Wyatt is. And they just attacked Jeff Hardy and put him out of commission in this match. EC3, EC3 and Matt Hardy fought throughout the arena. This was a no disqualification contest. I guess apparently in TNA's world, triple threat matches, there are actually disqualifications if you use chairs and cheating and that, all that kind of sort of thing. So they made this a no disqualification match, which turned into a no contest because EC3 was not responding. He was laid out flat on his ass outside the ring in the stands. So basically, Matt Hardy walks out with the championship thinking, oh yeah, I'm the champion. The referee calls the match, and that's that. Basically a win by KO. Knockout. Matt Hardy walks up the ramp. He's holding the belt up high and proud, happy as can be, and then all of a sudden Drew Gallo comes out with his briefcase. Now, as we all know, yeah, he's cashing it in. He didn't attack Matt Hardy, number one. He did not attack Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy didn't get attacked by his opponents in this match. It just turned out that Drew Gallo walked away as the TNA World Champion. He hit his double arm DDT, which they call the Future Shock, which is what it used to be called in WWE. And he nailed it brilliantly and won the match. You could say that Matt Hardy was unconscious and couldn't respond before the count of 3. And Drew Gallo became the new TNA World Champion. Now, my opinion on this. Yes, everyone would say, oh, that shit's happened many times before. Look at WWE's product. They do that crap all the time. Yada, 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 with Money in Bank briefcase. In TNA, my friends, TNA, you don't see that shit. The briefcase, usually, when you win the briefcase, your chances of winning the World Championship or any other kind of title doesn't necessarily mean you're going to walk out guaranteed the champion. There's a lot of times there has been guys that cashed in to try to win the TNA World title and never walked out as the TNA World Champion. Samoa Joe, Hernandez, a few other people I can't remember off the top of my head, but those two names were two big names that I remember tried to cash in and did not win, as many others have not in the past. So this happening in TNA is actually unusual and a little bit different. And I think it was pretty cool on their part to do this. Drew Gallo is a younger talent. He hasn't been in professional wrestling for a long time. He made it big in WWE in 2010. So he's been known since 2010, maybe 2009. I think he was in there 2009 as well. But he was well known to be in the professional wrestling realm to most people in 2009, 2010 when he was in WWE. He moved on, of course, made it into TNA, and he's a good star to put the company on his back, give him kind of like a little recognition, and make him as kind of the face of the company for right now, until they start improving this company a little bit more. My attitude's simple as this. Maybe they don't have a lot of money. Of course they don't, because I hear a lot of times a lot of negative shit. Dixie Carter refuses to sell this company. She doesn't want to give up. She don't want to quit. I got a lot of respect for her on that part. What she needs to do is she needs to find somebody that can work with her, that knows the wrestling business in and out and has better ideas for wrestling storylines. If she can find somebody to do that with her company and do like what Ted Turner did, but have a little bit more involvement than Ted Turner did, she actually might get this company back on its feet once again and be a little bit more competitive towards WWE than it has in the last couple of years. TNA was somewhat competitive to WWE. They built some really good talent, and if you don't believe me, go watch WWE now. You got a lot of guys from TNA that's in WWE now. You got two of the biggest names, Samoa Joe and fucking AJ Styles. If those two names don't stand out to you, I don't know what will. James Storm almost stuck with WWE, but he refused to. TNA gave him a bigger offer. Later on, once they had enough funds available to give him that kind of contract, he went back to TNA, and now he's tag team champions with Bobby Roode with Beer Money Incorporated. So they have opportunity. As long as they're breathing in and out, they ain't selling this company. They're not out of business. They're still doing shows on some sort of television show or television station, whatever. They got a shot at still bringing this company back from the grave and putting it back on the map the way it used to be, at least about 5 years ago or something. Right now, they're still in the dumps. They're still not where they need to be. They lost one of the biggest stars, Kurt Angle, at his last big match with Bobby Lashley, who turned a heel on him, and now he's a ruthless killing machine, which he was at one time with MVP and Kenny King. I don't even know what happened to Kenny King. I think he disappeared off the face of the earth and is no longer with the company either. He was actually a decent talent. Unfortunately, he's no longer with them from what I've noticed. I don't know if he still is or he just didn't show up on this episode. But this episode could have used his talent on the show. But if he is part of the company, they didn't. Now, the TNA World Championship Triple Threat match. This match was a pretty decent match. I didn't have too many complaints with it. It was a bit slow, though. That was really my only big complaint. But match itself wasn't that bad. Enjoyed it. Thought the action was fun and entertaining. And have to say, it was an enjoyment to watch. Then the secondary title match, I liked. I liked the fact that they put the belt on Drew Gallows, I like his entrance music. I think that's pretty cool. He sounds more like an adult instead of sounding like some fucking fruitcake with his WWE bullshit. But yeah, it was a good event. I think it was okay. I'd give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Wasn't great, but it was definitely better than Monday Night Raw. And I'll give 2 hours of TNA time than WWE's 3 hours of boredom at this point, if TNA can continue to put on decent shows like that. If they can, great. I would be more than happy to watch more episodes of TNA in the state that it's in right now. It just needs to improve with talent, and it needs to improve a little bit more on storyline build-up. I think if they can get both of those situations taken care of, they just might get back to the way they were at 1.5 years ago. But at this time, that's pretty much all I have to say on this episode of TNA Impact of March 15th, 2016. At this time, hope you enjoyed watching the video. Leave the comments and opinions down below. I'll definitely get back to you as always. And lay it the smack it down on that subscribe button. Thank you very much and have a great night, guys. Bye.